All right, so today I want to talk about what I wish I knew about chronic pain and chronic fatigue and chronic illness in general when I was diagnosed, which was as a teenager. So I really didn't seek out information on my own until I'd already been sick for some time. And the reason that I didn't seek out more information, and my parents did try to seek out more information, but there wasn't honestly that much available at the time. This was, hello, Brian. I'm trying to remember what year this was now, around 2001 or 2002 or something. So there was not, does that make sense? Maybe it was 2003, but early 2000s, let's say. So there was just not a lot of information then on chronic pain and fatigue. I mean, there's still not a whole bunch. There's definitely more. And because part of the reason I didn't kind of do more research or seek more help is because as a kid, when I got sick, I went to the doctor and I got antibiotics or got told to take that gross banana medication, whatever it was. And in a few days, or I got ear drops, and in a few days the illness was gone, and that was that. And that was how being sick worked. And I knew kind of there were more serious illnesses where you might have to get surgery or that you might die from. But generally in my head, it was very black and white. If you get sick, you go to the doctor and they give you medication. And if you have something very serious like cancer, they're going to try to get it out of you and they might fail. And that was kind of it. That's how illness worked. So when they told me, oh, you have chronic fatigue syndrome, good luck. I just was kind of confused. I didn't really realize what was going on. I kept going back to the doctor to be yep, still can't sleep, still don't have energy. And they didn't really have anything to tell me. They sent me to I went to a naturopath, I went to therapists, and kind of nobody, people kind of asked about symptoms, people asked about mental health a lot. Nobody really knew what to do, and nobody ever asked me about my lifestyle before I got ill, what I was doing, what sorts of thoughts I was having, and nobody seemed super interested in what had potentially caused this illness to come on. They were just thinking now, okay, how can we treat these symptoms? So I was told, drink caffeine in the day if you get tired. I was on a whole bunch of different sleeping pills, which were supposed to be short-term, but my doctor gave them to me for long-term because it was a chronic illness, and just no one ever really addressed the what could have caused this and what I could do outside of medication to perhaps feel better, maybe not fully recover, but feel better, and perhaps, as was in my case, fully recover, mostly be in recovery. That's always a tricky one. Maybe that'll be my next podcast terms of recovery. So one of the turning points for me, and when I got to my early 20s or later teens and did start to read much more about chronic fatigue and chronic pain and started learning a lot more about complementary health systems, and I learned a lot about mindfulness and yoga and kind of those more Eastern medicinal practices, is that they have a completely different view on illness, which is much more holistic and which is much more better suited to treating chronic conditions, because in the Western world, we're very scientific in our approach, which is great in a lot of ways. Hello, Sarah Demar. I think, yes, okay. Thank you for joining. Yes, it was very, very frustrating. And it's very frustrating just having no idea and having no resources. So part of the reason why I think I say this is so amazing is that we can share this information and share these resources. So yeah, this kind of turning point for me was that there were medicinal systems out there that we were kind of ignoring that look at the body more holistically. And while I love the scientific approach of Western medicine for a lot of things, we're great at treating viruses, we're great at treating infections, where there's a very specific thing that is really, really well treated by the Western medical system. And I definitely am not the person who says don't see your doctor, it's all corrupt or anything like that. I think that there's a lot of great work done by doctors and a lot of great research done by the scientific community here in the Western world. But what I wish we didn't do was kind of throw away other perspectives that would be helpful for illnesses like chronic pain and chronic fatigue and other long-term conditions that kind of fall through the cracks because people aren't really sure what causes them. So there's no really easy drug treatment, and then it's just people don't really know what to do. But that's not true, because there are medical systems that do know what to do for these illnesses. So I really wish that I had known that there were more options out there and different perspectives out there that that could be helpful in treating the chronic illnesses. Another thing I wish I knew was that health is not so black and white. It's not that you're healthy, you're healthy, you're healthy, you get a virus, you fix the virus, and then you're healthy, you're healthy, you're healthy on repeat. I think that health is a lot more complex than that, and everything that we do, what we eat, what our jobs are, the kind of relationships we have, the amount of activity we do, our thought patterns. If we have stressful thought patterns, like I would have never thought that the way you think could contribute to illness, but I think that it certainly can if you have a very kind of stressful or negative outlook on life. I know that I definitely used to do this all the time and still do this a little bit. I might say like, oh, I'm never getting better, or like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm just so exhausted, I can't do anything, like these kind of catastrophic thoughts, which can be very, very stressful, and stress is related to every illness. So yeah, illness is just, it's not so black and white. There can be a lot of things that contribute to various levels of health, and our bodies are all quite different. Our bodies are not going to react to the same things. And this kind of led me down the path of experimentation and trying out different lifestyle things, trying out cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness-based stress reduction, and all these different things that I wouldn't say there was one thing that was a cure, the way that we talk about cures in the scientific Western kind of medical world, but all these things kind of working together that helped open my perspective to get away from this black and white idea of illness really, really helped me in moving on that path to recovery, because I was just so much more open to the ways that my body works, and that bodies in general work, and how we think of health and how we think of illness and different things that can impact it. Which leads right into the next thing, the last thing I think that I will share with you today that I wish I knew, is how much stress affects every illness. And I think we kind of know this. Like if a child is stressing out, you might say, okay, take a deep breath, relax. Like we know it's not good to be in that stressful state, and we know we don't feel good when we're in that stressful state. But we often don't connect it to illness. And I think it was actually in university where I first read this, because I studied psychology, and just measuring stress levels. Stress is related to literally every illness. Like my cold right now is probably related to stress, because I'm at home right now and I'm visiting family, and all that's really nice. It's a lot of go, 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 and also trying to stay on top of my work and my yoga practice and all that can get, it was stressful, and that's probably what brought on the cold, with a number of other factors. The temperature was warm and it suddenly got cold. But even things like certain cancers have been related back to stress levels. So literally everything is related to stress. And so if we can do things in our lives that reduce that stress, then that's going to help our overall health so, so much. And it's such a simple thing. And I know when people first started telling me this, I kind of felt frustrated, because I'm sure if you guys watching have a chronic illness, you're very used to people either not really believing your symptoms or what they are, or giving really unhelpful advice, like saying, oh, just have you tried going for a walk? Have you tried this new fad diet? Like I know that can be really frustrating. But creating an environment that your body is able to heal in, like our bodies can't heal when they're stressed out because they're worried about the stress. They're in this fight or flight mode. If we can spend more time with our bodies in a relaxed zone, in the rest and digest zone, and if you're sciencey, that's the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. So we want to get more time in the parasympathetic nervous system. Your body will do so much more healing than whatever your illness is. So even though we don't know the cause or the one specific thing that we can treat for these chronic illnesses, spending more time in that parasympathetic rest and digest zone, no matter what the cause is going to help your body be able to start healing. So that was such a huge thing for me, and I learned that first in university, but really kind of came through when I did the mindfulness-based stress reduction course and the yoga course that I believe I talked about last time. Really, really helped me see the benefits of like getting into that actual rest stage. And sitting and watching TV or reading a book, both things I love doing, are not actually stress relieving. Oh, we've got some questions. Brian says, you're so right that stress related to physical health. Yeah, it definitely is, even though you wouldn't always think it. Sarah's saying, what are the best ways to relieve stress before going to sleep? That is a great question. I do talk a lot about sleep on my blog, which is at arogayoga.com. So I think you can do certain things to relieve stress before going to sleep. Ideally, though, we're just having less stress all throughout the day, and that will also help you sleep. But I really recommend doing a meditation before bed, just some deep breathing, whatever kind of meditation or breathing exercises you like doing. Having a warm shower or bath before bed can be really great. Doing some gentle exercise, like some restorative yoga or maybe some qigong, maybe going for a slow walk after dinner can all really help. I think turning off screens, I'm really bad at this. So I like turn off my computer screen, but my phone goes into the blue light mode, which does help a bit. Ideally, we would have no screens because the light and the screen mimics daylight, which makes your brain think that it's daytime and you should be awake, and then it produces less melatonin, which is one of the chemicals that helps us get to sleep. So yeah, trying to do less screens. And if you do want to read a book or watch something before bed, don't put on something that's kind of like action-packed and really intense that's going to get your heart rate up. Like read something kind of fun and relaxing, or watch a comedy or something you've seen before that you don't mind kind of only half paying attention to. But ideally, yeah, we just be staying in the present moment, perhaps breathing and taking a warm shower. And I find that creating a routine around bedtime, which is also something that I am still working on, but having a bedtime routine can also be really helpful. Like, you brush your teeth, you have a shower, you do a bit of meditating, maybe you read a bit, like finding the order that works for you. And then that routine will start to, like Pavlov's dogs, will start to trigger your brain into knowing that it's sleep time. So I hope that is helpful. I think I am about ready to sign off now, so that you can keep sending the questions. My email is kayla@arogayoga.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and YouTube, Aroga Yoga, if you want to ask questions there. I would love to hear what you guys thought of this. If there's anything that you wish you knew when you were first diagnosed, or maybe if there's just something that you wish you could know now, that would be great to know. Oh, perfect timing because the phone is ringing. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.